Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be making this asymmetric lace. I'm not going to be padding this. I'm not going to be padding it, but I will use this a princess that a that so that it will not compress her bust. So this is the down part, just your normal skirt pattern, which I've drafted out already. Just to the length of her skirt is 40, but I didn't really use up to 40. I minus her under bust to get 38. I reduced it to. So you will off, then I removed the half length, that is 20 inches to get 38.5. That's what I'm going to be using. I'll use 38, then that half inch is for the joining. So this is what I have. Then I got her hip location with 8.5. This way to get her hip location. The next thing to take her round hip, her hip circumference, then I added 2 inches her waist. Then I drafted out a dart which I'll not be using, so I didn't really use the dart. So this is it. So here is the back. I brought out 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance. So this is exactly the same. So the next thing is to join the zip. So I have to hold the zipper allowance with my pin. I have to hold it down. You just have to hold the zipper allowance because this is one-sided. The slant is one-sided. So the next thing is to open this up. Open this up. This is the back. Open it up. Make sure it lays down flat. We are going to be then bring the front. No, the right side of the back should face down. The right side of the back, here is the right side, should face down. That is the front of your, what is it called, doll face or any material that you're using, should face down. Then the right one of the front should face up. Make sure to indicate your down part and your upper part also. So this, the wrong side is facing each other and the right side is facing up. So now you will determine where you want your whether you want it to be at your left hand side or your right hand side. That is your slant, where you want to, or where you want it to be, your slant. So I prefer mine being at the right hand side. Make sure everything aligns together. Make sure it aligns together. Then before this, you have to get the midpoint. Before that, you have to get the midpoint of your front pattern. So here is the midpoint. I'll notch it. I'll notch the midpoint. So here, make sure everything aligns together. Make sure it's equal. So from here now, I'll go down by her hip. I'll use. So I want the slant to be at the on the left hand side. So I'll go down. I'll get her hip location first. Okay, this is her hip. Then I'll determine where I want the slant to start from. If you check very well, it didn't start right on her hip, and this slant is not really visible. So I'll go down by 4 inches from her hip side. I'll go down by 4 inches. This is the slant I'm going to use. So this slant now, I'm going to. I don't know if this is visible. So I'm going to slant this thing from here to this ending part. So you just take your ruler and start slanting it from the right hand to the left, from the left hand to the right hand. So I'll connect this way. Here to the left hand. I don't know if this is really showing. So I'm slanting from her left to the right. So from her left, which way to this end point. I'm not going to slant this just to make that end point. So this is what I have. This is what I have. Make sure everything aligns very well. This is especially the left part. So this is the slant. But if you feel that you still want it to go up a bit, I'll still maybe come up by ½ inch here and still slant it. Slant it this way. So this is what I have. Next thing I is to cut it out. Then cut it out. Remember that you're not really cutting much from this part. You're not really cutting much from here. So I'll cut it this way. So this is what you should have. So this is what you should have after cutting it. This is what you should have. So this is it. When you fold it, you'll have something like this. So this is the front. So you have something like this. So here is the front. When you open it up, you will have something that is like this. So this is it. So I'll place this aside to work on the front part, the upper part. So the back and this thing is ready. So the asymmetric went round like from the front to the back. So this is it. So this is it. So I'll place this aside and work on the upper part of it. So this is. So we'll be drafting the upper parts on a pattern paper, which I've drafted it out already, but I'll take you on the lines
So you determine how off you want your all shoulder. This person don't want it to expose her cleavage that much, so I used 4 inches. Remove 4 inches to get your half length. I remove 4 inches to get half length, which is 20. Then I measured her under bust, which is 15. Her under bust, which is 15. Then to get your bust point, I went up by 4 inches from her under bust. You can measure this, but if you don't have your measurement, it depends how big your bust is. So I went up by 4 inches from her under bust, which has been working for me. So to get your chest line, you remove your 4 inches to get your chest line. So the next thing is to measure your shoulder. Her shoulder is 8 inches. Her shoulder is 16, but I removed half inch because this is an off shoulder. I want it to be tight on this thing, so I removed up to 1 inch. I removed up to 1 inch. So the next thing is to take your bust measurements. I took her bust measurement. Then her shoulder is 17 inches, so from that her shoulder line I connected it slantly. Here you are not making your normal shoulder armhole. This is an off shoulder armhole, so you don't need to start curving it that much. Just from that your shoulder and connect it to your bust. The next thing is to take your waist measurement, then connect it the way you connect. This is an off shoulder that we are making. So you now take your nipple to nipple measurement. Her nipple to nipple is 8 inches plus 1.5 inch allowance, so you have 4.5 or also. So your this thing divide by 2. So at the underbord, that is the half length, I went out by 1 inch. Then at her underbust I went out by 1 inch, then went in by 1 inch. Then at her underbust line I went down by half inch. Then you also connect the lines. Here I didn't use any ruler, don't mind me the way I'm doing this. I didn't use any this thing, but please use your curve and everything. So, and another thing is that I didn't use marker, so I was like trying to draw it very well so that it will be visible. So I went up. So at her shoulder line I went down by 2 inches. Then I went from that 2 inches line, I went up by half inch, then went down by half inch. Here you are going to connect your dart from that thing to that 1 inch, half inch that you went down with. Then from that half inch that you went up with, you connect another line. Look at the way I'm doing this right now. So that is just what you will have. Just this simple. So from our shoulder line you go down by 2 inches. From that 2 inches you go down by half inch, then go up by half inch, then connect your line. So the next thing is to replace all the dart intake. Whatever that you took away, you replace it, then you add your allowance. I added 2 inches. You can add up to 3 inches allowance here. So there you also replace your inches, then you connect it. We are done with this. So the curving, the side may not really be maybe straight and everything, but it's okay. No matter the shape it brings out to you, it will all come out. So from that place, from that down line that you went out with half inch, that you went down with half inch, please, you have to replace that your dart line. You have to extend your dart line so that you will not run shortage. Please, I replaced it by 1 inch. Then I did my neck line. From that place I went down by, you can remove your this thing, you can remove your 4 inches. Then I removed 4 inches, I got 7 inches or so. So you connect it, you use whatever neckline you wish. So I connected it that way, but I said no, let me make that sweater to be very, very curvy, and that was what I was trying to do. So this is what I have here. So this is how you are going to cut it. Please make sure you know that we are not going to be padding this. She said I shouldn't pad it, so you just notch your bust point for you to know how to join it and all that. And this is how I'm cutting it, just this easy. Please know that note that if you're cutting it on your fabric, it should be on fold. So this is how I'm going to cut the side darts. So this is how we, please extend your darts there by 1 to half inch. You use 1.5 inches instead of you to run shortage. Let it be enough so that you can trim it off. So that was what I did here, and that is just it. The front is ready. Once you match the bust point, everything will now match together. Please, the sides should be, everything should be on fold. The center front should be on fold, then the side you just have 2 pieces of that. So you place this aside and cut the front back. So now to cut the back, everything, the shoulder should be the same thing. Remember that you minus 1 inch. Like your shoulder is 17, then you minus 1 inch, you have 16. So you have 14 and half. So that is the same thing you are going to do there. Whatever shoulder measurement you use for the front, that is what you are going to use. Then the chest line should be the same thing. So I got my half length, which is 20, and measured the shoulder, then remove the same 1 inch again. Here you are going to add your this thing. You are going to add your zipper allowance, but I didn't add it here. I am going to add it on the fabric because there is no this thing again. So you take your nipple to nipple, take it to your chest line. Then I did my dart intake 1 inch out, 1 inch in, then still go down by 2 inches from that point. Whatever you did for the front, please do it for the back. It's just that the darts will not be the same. So I went up by half inch, then went down by half inch, then I'll connect it. The back is very, very simple. You don't have to curve it. You don't have to start curving, start giving it bust curve and all that. So it's just that simple. Just connect it to that half inch, then connect the second half inch, and we are done with this. We are done. So your half inch, you connect it very well. So you take your measurement. I didn't really add measurements here. I'm going to add it on the fabric. So I'm going to add it on the fabric. So remember that I went down by half inch, then I connected my dart straight. Please, sorry, don't mind me, just because of there's no marker, so I'm just trying to make everything. But please be careful when you are doing freehand. Make sure that you measure everything, even if you are going to be doing freehand. So this is it. Don't mind this looking like this. When I'm doing it, I'll correct it very well. So always use your ruler, your marker, and everything, and draft. Once you are doing a princess, that I'd advise you as a beginner to draft it on a pattern paper, so if there is any mistake, you correct it. So that is just it. I didn't add any allowance. I'm going to add it on the fabric, and the zipper, this thing, I'll add it on the fabric also. So this is the back. So here is the back. So here is the back. And to do the back neckline also, you determine your back neckline. I removed the 4 inches, then went down by 8 inches. Then you have to draw any curve you want. So I just did this slant for the back, and I did this. Will not really show well because I'm not cutting it on fold. It's when I cut it on the fabric that you see. So I placed it aside.
Everything I've gone ahead to cut it out and to join it. So let me show you how to cut this front one, how to cut it on the fabric. Okay, remember that here is the left hand side. So when you are cutting this on the fabric, please don't cut on fold. You know, if you cut it on fold, this is the way it will look. So we are not going to be cutting on fold. Please, this is the fabric, this is the upper part, the front part. don't cut it on fold unless you don't want to get this line, like you don't want to get the slanted line. So what you should do is that, remember that doll face has front and the back, it has the wrong side and the right side. So here you place your fabric, that is the, you place your fabric this way, you place your fabric this way, like assuming this is your fabric, you just look at the right side is facing down, so you place it, then you take the right side of your skirt also. The right side will be facing the wrong side of your lace, like the right side now is inside, that is the front part is facing the wrong side of the lace, so that is how you are going to cut it. So you cut this way, cut it round. Then after doing it, you know this is lace and the satin or doll face, so for you to not to have any folds after joining it, you will see some lace, it will have folds there, so it's got, they didn't join the line, the face, the doll face to the this thing, to the fabric very well. So you just have to place it this way, open it, pin it if you wish to, then use a loose stitch. You have to loosen your machine, so use a loose stitch, be sewing, like you can start from here and stop here. Again, you start from here and stop here, start from here and stop here, start from here and stop here, like the way you sew it, so that it will not push to one side. So you just have to be taking it one by one, gradually by gradually. You will notice that it will come out straight, like it will come out very well. You will not have any, I'm here to iron this, but this is okay. When it's tight on the body, it will still look like this. So the back part also, you will do the same thing. Please remember, you will join the zipper allowance before cutting it, but when you are cutting it on your lace, on your main fabric, you have to join it separately. When you are cutting this on your lace, you have to join, you have to cut it separately. So have to join it. So here is the zipper part, here is the notch it to know the zipper part. So here is the zipper part, here is the two zipper parts that will go this way, here is the two zipper parts. So you are cutting separately. If you cut it on fold, you are not going to get it, and if you cut them together, so you have to place this one also the way you did with the front, that's the way you are going to cut it. So here, you know, this is how it will look, this is how it will look, this is the zipper part. So you can just hold it, so you cut it separately. This part now, you know that the right side also is facing here, the right side is facing down, that is the lace is facing down the right side, then the right side of the lining is facing the wrong side of the lace. That is exactly what you do here. So you cut exactly the same thing also. So the same thing here, you do it just to make sure that the asymmetric part matches very well. That is this thing that you are doing is not that difficult, it's not hard. So I'll just pin the zipper allowance here, I'll just join the zipper allowance, the amount that I brought out. So I'll just join it. When you open it up, this is what you will have. Remember that the shorter part is on the left hand side. So here is the same thing, like I've joined this to the fabric. You cut the lining also, you'll be lining the upper part also. So here is the front dart. Here is the side seam of the front. Okay, here is the center of this one. So what you should be, so you also join it the same. Look at the sweet dart neckline is showing very well. So you also do this same thing, hold your dart very well so it doesn't move. The next thing is to place it. How to join your dart? Place it. That's why you have to notch your boss point. Bring the boss point together, you pin it, you pin the boss point together. You can decide to join from up or from down. I like joining from down. You can also do the same thing. So, or you can still join from up, just take your half inch, join this way, or you join from down. Just pin this thing. So you sew with your half inch, that half inch that you brought out. So that's what you're going to be using to join it. So you also join this part too. So you still do the same thing. So after joining the down part, I will now shape it to use the correct measurement to shape it. After shaping it, that's where we are going to be cutting the flip part. So I will do the same thing here. So after joining the down part, the both sides together, I will now cut the design. So here is the two center back. You know that after adding your zipper allowance, you should have it separately like this. So you bring this one now. So here is the side of the front. You place it. You also join it with half an inch. This one doesn't have wells point. You can join it anyway. Just make sure everything lines together. you know that I'm not going to be padding this, so it's just this way, just this simple. So I'll just join everything, shape it because it's getting late already. And yeah, you see, just after joining, you just close the zipper allowance. Then we'll now use the lining to turn everything. So you also do cut your lining separately this way and join it the way you join everything. The down part will not have lining. You don't have to line the down part. So I'll just do everything and show you. Then we'll cut out the flare part, which is after joining because I need to measure around it before cutting it out.
So here I'm done joining the the fabric to the down part, and I've also shaped the skirt part, also shaped the upper part of the dress. Also, the what is left here now is to attach the flare and the zip, then close the sides. So I've just done that already. So the next thing is to measure around your skirt parts, that is to know the radius that you are going to use, that is the circuit that you are going to use for the flare. And this is, you just place it this way. You can measure around or you can measure one, then times it by 2. So whatever you have, assuming is 20, you do that 20 divided by 4, you have 50. You divide that 50 by 4, that is to know the radius that you are going to use, that is the circle for the flare. So here you are cutting 360 degree flare. So we are going to fold it into 4. So you fold it, fold like this, fold it like this, then fold it again, just to have a double circle flare. So this is how you are going to cut, fold it. Make sure you have you have it wide enough. So this orange dot face is 2 years. Yeah, 2 years will be enough for the circle. So the radius, so whatever you have as your radius is what you are going to use. So I went down my 10 inches because I wanted to get I went down my 10 inches. Then when you measure it, so I used 10 inches first to know if it will give me 15. Remember that this is into 4. So I measured that 10 inches. It was not up to this thing, so I later used 11 inches, which gave me the amount that I wanted. But I added a little please, so I got total of 17 instead of 15. So this is it. So once you have it, you now determine the length that you want for your circle. So you know that there is two circle flare, is two flare already, and the the upper one is shorter than the down one. So I had to adjust it because it seems as if I was wasting the fabric already. So the first flare is 10 inches long. So the second one is 12 inches to 13 inches long, plus the joining and everything. And I added crinoline to this. I didn't add any this thing. I didn't iron this thing. Is it gum stay? I didn't use any paper stay or gum stay here. So I just used only that crinoline to give it that weight. Don't slit this open. I left the circle. I didn't try to open it or to separate it. Just notch the 4 parts for you to know the part and arrange this very well so that it doesn't move. So the next thing to do is to also fold your fabric into 4 again to cut the down part. This is the upper part. Also fold it into 4. Place it. Make sure everything is equal. So for this, 2 years will be enough for this, even for the sleeve. Sorry, 3 years should be enough for this because the sleeve is also big. So 3 years should be enough for this. So for the again, even 3, I ended up managing it for the sleeve, so it should just have like 3.5 years for this if you are making this, so you don't run shortage of fabric. So you also place it like this. I placed it, and this is me trying to adjust it because I don't want to waste fabric. I don't want to waste the doll face. Make sure it aligns together very well. So once you have it this way, this is what you should have. So I if you it depends on the kind of sleeve that you want, because she complained that the sleeve is not wide the way she wanted. So you just, this down part is 12 inches.
Sorry guys, this is what we have. This the down part is 3.5 inches longer than the first step. So this is, I didn't even know that my camera stopped working. So it stopped recording. So you didn't really get the part that I added it. So it's just equal. From here you now take 3 inches, 3.5 inches round. So it's 3.5 inches longer than this. So you just use it to cut exactly the same.
Now to cut the sleeve, the wideness depends on the amount of fabric that you have left. Like I said, mine wasn't enough, so I had to manage it. So if you have enough fabric and you want it really big, then you should use, like on fold you should use 20 to 25. Then when you open it up, you have 50. Remember also to minus your off shoulder, because this is an off shoulder sleeve. So I minus 3 because I was going to add I was going to join it and everything. So I minus 3, and I was still going to add a band, 2 inches band to it. So I minus 3 to get 14 inches. 14 inches plus the folding and everything is 14 inches. So this is how you are going to do. I'm going to use 1 inch for the elastic, and also I'm also still going to add another band that is 2 inches band to this, because also add 1 inch elastic to the up, then half-inch elastic to the down part. So this is what you should have. Use it to cut the second sleeve. So this is it. This is it. So when I add that 2 inches band, I'll have 15 inches. After folding that 1 inch, I'll have like 15 to 16 inches. So this is what I have left for the second one. I had to join it, like I'm not a magician now, so I had to join it. It was not really obvious, like it didn't really, the joining wasn't that noticeable, so I had to join this. Because, so like I said, I was going to join it. So the after cutting it, you bring down, you bring your fabric, um you like watch the way I'm doing it. So you bring your back part of your armhole, then you slant it, because you just want to get that curve. You place it this way, remove your allowance without the allowance. Sorry. So you slant it like this. That is how you are going to cut it out. That is the armhole part of your sleeve. So guys, I guess I'm going to stop here. Then this video will have a part 2. Let's say this is the part 1, so I'll make another video to show you the outcome and how you can get sleeve, and the how you add your horsepower, sorry, crinoline or something else. So I'll just show you in another part of the video, because this is already too long. So please, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe, and please support me and encourage me. Thank you guys. So let's wait for the second part. Thank you.